Hello, my name is Rachel Larson, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Academic and Career Development at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Business. Part of my role is to work with students in their career paths, and I just love hearing about students' internship stories, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm joined here with John Trilling, who's going to tell us a little bit about his internship experiences. Welcome, John.
Thank you for having me today.
So tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? What's your major?
Yeah, so I'm a senior economics and finance major with a minor in business analytics, initially from just outside of Madison, Wisconsin.
And I know business analytics is a new major for us as well, so you started on that path a little early with the minor.
Yeah, it's just something that really piqued my interest and decided to shoot for it, and I've really loved it so far.
Excellent. And I know you've had a couple internships that are associated with business analytics as well, so tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so the first internship that I got related to business analytics was a data analytics intern with Lutz, which is initially an accounting firm based out of Omaha and Lincoln. And through that internship, I was really able to kind of work with such a wide variety of clients and do so many different tasks for them related to data analytics. Mostly it was companies that couldn't hire a data analyst internally. So it was a lot of outsourced business analytics work. And I really enjoyed working with that such wide range of clients. But then this past summer, I had the opportunity to work with Brooks Running out of Seattle, Washington. And the initial plan of the internship wasn't necessarily supposed to be fully centered around data analytics, but because of my previous internship experience, I was able to bring a lot of those technical experiences that I learned at Lutz into Brooks. And I was really able to help them enhance some of their reporting processes and really help them look at data in a different perspective than they hadn't been before. And I think it was able to make that impact on such a large company was such a unique experience.
Yeah. Well, and I know you said you're from Madison, Wisconsin,
Yes.
and you came here to school in Lincoln, had an internship in Omaha, and then an internship in Seattle.
Yeah.
So you've kind of spanned the country a little bit with your internships. So what have you kind of learned, and what locations have been really interesting to you?
You know, when I approached looking for internships, I really just wanted to try something new each time. You know, I had been going to school here in Lincoln, but working here throughout the summer was definitely going to be a completely different experience for me. And then when I just looked for my internship last summer, I just really wanted to try something new in a different area of the country and almost use it as a study abroad quote experience. And that's what I did. And Seattle was such a beautiful city, and I would recommend anybody to kind of expand the range of where you look for internships, because you're not tied down for outside of that summer internship. So I think taking the risk and exploring a little bit, it really pays off in the long run.
So how did you find those internships?
For me, I just did a lot of Google searching. It sounds a bit weird at first, but I just took the time to do a lot of searching. I looked at companies in a certain area that I was looking for. At one point I was looking in North Carolina. At one point I went up, of course, to Seattle, and I just looking on websites outside of your common LinkedIn or Handshake. Going to the specific company websites is something that I found you're going to see a little bit more options on those specific company websites. So that's kind of the route that I went, and I really wasn't scared to apply because the worst thing you're going to hear is no.
Yeah.
And then you'll jump to the new one that you want to look for. So kind of stepping back from that imposter syndrome and just taking a chance, and you're a lot better of a candidate than you initially think. And I think having that mindset allowed me to be successful in my internship search.
I love you bringing up the imposter syndrome, and because a lot of students just don't think that they're going to get it, so they don't apply. So how has the College of Business, whether it's the classes, it's the I know you're involved in some pretty great extracurricular activities here. So how has those experiences really developed you to succeed in your internships?
I would say one of my experiences here as a student strengths coach with the Clifton Strengths Institute has really allowed me to enhance my relationship building skills. And when you're having an interview with an employer, it's they've got their list of requirements, but let's say you hit 3 of the 5, if you're able to connect with them, if you're able to show like those core relationship building skills, I think they're going to value that a bit more than making sure you check all of the boxes, because the point of internships is for you to grow, and they know that they're not going to expect you to be perfect with everything going in. And so I think having those relationship building skills like enhanced through the strengths coaching has helped me a lot.
Well, and I know that our students learn interviewing, especially if they're a strengths coach, but also through our professional enhancement program. So the College of Business has all of our students take 4 required classes to help them achieve and learn more about themselves, learn more about how to apply for internships, get their academic and job application materials up and running, and then how to succeed in life after college as well. They're called our prep classes, our professional enhancement program courses. So how have those courses helped you with finding internship opportunities?
I would say, well, specifically the first one, BZ one-on-one, where you kind of understand who you are. That's the most important thing when going into like an internship search, is just having a core understanding of who you really are as a person. I think that is a great first step. But then 222 and 333, which allowed me to first like understand the wide variety of options out there. And I think that's when I decided to look in other places in the country, just like understanding how much is really available and how applicable the skills that I've learned in my classes are to a wide range of industries. But then I would say the most impactful one was BZ 333, where we did a lot of resume, cover letter, and a practice interview. And I think just with that class, having being paired with a student as almost like a resume or cover letter coach, someone that you know has gone through the similar experience, you're really going to take their word for it, and they really help you change your resume and cover letter, because that's the first thing to get in the door for these internships, is having that quality resume. But then of course, having those practice interviews through that class with a real company and a real hiring manager helps you prepare kind of the type of questions and experiences on what an intern or an interview might feel like.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of getting your foot into the door is having the experiences to put on the resume in the first place, or to talk about in the interview. And you had a really great experience with what's called the Yider Institute. So tell us a little bit about Yider and what you do with them.
So with the Clayton Yider Institute, it's based around international trade and finance, and it's a 4-person cohort each year. And so first semester we kind of like get a broad understanding of what international trade is, and just like talking to a industry professional every 2 weeks and just picking their brain a little bit to understand what the ins and outs of the industry is like. But then second semester we worked on a semester-long consulting project for a Valmont Industries, which is a irrigation firm out of Omaha. And I think just having the real-life experiences through a project that I can just do through a student organization here was really beneficial, to be able to talk on, to tell a company, to tell Brooks that I've worked for a company like an international company like you guys before. So I think like specifically the Clayton Yider Institute was such a beneficial experience for me in that sense.
What is one thing that you think that you've accomplished in your internship, either with Lutz or with Brooks, that you're the most proud of?
I would say just seeing that what I did within my internship will have an impact after I left. And I think that pays dividends to how those 2 companies set up their internship programs. But both of them had me do real projects and work with the clients. It wasn't just a like, hey, do some research for us on the side and maybe we'll take a look into this after you leave. I could work on projects that, you know, the second I left my internship, I knew that they were going to continue to use the work that I had done for them. So I think like having those experiences to speak on will not only help me in the future, but just knowing that I made an impact on those companies, I think really made the experience that much more special.
Now, I know you've got some decisions to make about your future career after graduation. So what did you learn from your internships that you're going to take in your future career?
I would say the biggest thing that I took is it's a similar mindset that I went into my internship programs, is being able to take risks and be not feeling like you're stuck in one spot. I think that I've had that mindset kind of solidified, and it's something that I'm going to continue to take with me, and no matter where I end up in the following years, or maybe even 10 years down the line, I think that's going to be something that I hold true to myself, because you're going to mess up. You're going to but like, I think the biggest thing is like learning from that, and like taking those experiences and then changing from those. I had someone at Brooks tell me that everyone's got like a stock above their head, and sometimes you're going to be green and sometimes you're going to go red, but it's like a cycle. And if you go red, it's just like, what changes are you going to make yourself go green again? And I think that I kind of held close to myself, and I'm going to take that with me into the future.
Great, a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for sharing your story and your internship experiences with us, John.
Of course. Thank you for having me today.